web application is nothing but the application which we access through browser, either Gmail or Facebook. Okay, everything is a web application, right? Okay. So if you want to develop a web application, Microsoft has given some rules in the format of ASP.NET. Okay, so using ASP.NET, it is not a language, ASP.NET. Again, if you want to develop a web application, you need to take the help from ASP.NET features using any of these languages, again C#. So we will forget about this VB.NET, we will see only C#.
Okay.
So we have a language, C#.NET is a language, okay, ASP.NET is a web application framework inside .NET. Okay, like this, there are several other components also. So some latest version of this ASP.NET is ASP.NET MVC, which is also a web application framework. Okay, so we have many other components called Windows applications. So we can develop a Windows application inside .NET framework. Okay, Windows application is nothing but, let's say, so the basic difference between Windows application and a web application is Windows application targets to one system, whereas web application is available throughout the, like if you deploy in internet, if I develop a web application and if I deploy my site in internet, so that site will be accessible throughout the world. Windows application means if I want to execute
Desktop.
Yeah, desktop application. So you need to install some exe and that application is available only to you. So like Microsoft Word, you can say. If you install Outlook, Outlook is accessible only to you. Okay? So even like you can take a notepad, whatever is available in your programs list, all are Windows applications. That targets one desktop. So we can develop lot more actually. Some services we can develop, Windows services, web services, all are part of .NET.
Okay.
Okay. So after all these things, like SharePoint is again a, like we cannot say SharePoint is a language or it is a web application framework. Again, SharePoint is an OCM. Okay, but which mainly targets web applications. So SharePoint is only for web applications. So it supports whatever is available in ASP.NET, it supports all the things, plus it supports some extra features. So SharePoint mainly released into market with the main intention of content management. So SharePoint means it is only for web application development. So we cannot develop Windows application or something. If you want to develop a Windows application, again you need to go back to .NET. So if your intention is a web application with a content management is nothing but like managing the data, whether it might be a list or library. Library means a collection of documents.
Yeah,
if you want to maintain a documents, let's say you want to upload a version of a document and let's say someone else is modifying and someone else is modifying, you want to keep the track, you want to track the changes. So if you want to develop an application in .NET, it will take years. Okay, like you need to upload the documents and whenever someone is changing the document, okay, you need to track the changes, what user modified what data you need to track. So developing that kind of application in .NET is very difficult. So with the help of SharePoint, it is very easy. So the main if someone asks what is SharePoint means, okay, SharePoint is a set of products, not a single product. Okay, which is developed on top of ASP.NET.
okay.
On top of ASP.NET. So SharePoint is okay, which is developed on .NET. This is fine. So what you can do with SharePoint is, using SharePoint you can develop dynamic and secure websites. Secure websites. We are using a terminology called website, web, only web applications. Okay, you can develop dynamic and secure websites where you can store, okay, secure,
Mm-hmm.
search and share. Okay. So
Okay.
using SharePoint, you can develop a dynamic website. Dynamic means, what do you mean by dynamic? So if I am a .NET developer, so who will create my website?
ASP.NET.
ASP.NET developer. Typically developer will create a website and he will host the site. So as a user, I will just open my browser and I'll type www.abc.com and I will just access the site.
Mm-hmm.
As a user, I don't have any permissions other than accessing the site.
Okay.
But using SharePoint, a user also can create a site dynamically. If I am a user, I can create a site and I can give to my subordinates. If I am a manager and I got access to one SharePoint site, means I can create my own sites and where I can store my own data, and I can provide the access to people who are under me. So as a user, you can create a dynamic sites. Dynamic means even the SharePoint user also can create a site. Okay, and security is provided by default in SharePoint. You don't need to write a single line of code for that. Okay, so let's say you are a manager and you have access to one site. Okay, and let's say you have 4 subordinates where you have a document library with 4 documents, let's say.
Okay.
So you have the complete rights on those documents. Means you can modify the documents, you can delete the documents, you can upload the new documents as well.
Okay.
Okay. So you want to give, like you have 4 subordinates called user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, let's say. So you want to show the user 1 only he has to view the documents. That's it. He cannot delete, he cannot modify, he cannot do any other things other than viewing. So you can just add to the SharePoint by default provides a set of groups. If you add that user to the users viewers group, SharePoint viewers group, they can just view the data. They cannot delete, they cannot modify anything. So for other users, you can give a permission like he can add the documents, but he cannot delete the documents. You can give that access. So for other users, he can do adding and editing the existing documents, but he should not delete the documents.
Okay.
You can give that kind of permissions. If you write that kind of logic now, it will be very difficult in that. SharePoint provides everything by default.
Okay.
All the things, all you need to do is you need to just configure what user, what permissions. You just need to configure that.
Okay. So you will not write any code for it.
No, only in user interface we need to just configure. That's
okay.
Okay. So that is what we are saying. SharePoint is a secured site. Okay, where the information can be
stored, searched.
Yeah, storing means we are storing the
Edited.
information. Yeah, and secure means in a secure manner we are putting the data.
Searching.
And user can search the data. If you have lakhs of documents, you can just type one document name and you can search the data. Okay? And also you can present also. Okay, you can present in a graphical representation. It is very easy to present the information in SharePoint.
Okay.
Okay, so these are all the this is how we can define SharePoint. SharePoint is a set of products which is developed on .NET. Okay, using SharePoint we can develop a dynamic and secure websites where you can do all these things. Where you can store the information. Information might be a document or anything. Whatever you want to save, you can save in SharePoint. Okay, and you secure and search. These are all features of SharePoint. Okay. If you have ever seen the SharePoint environment, we'll just show that environment how it looks like. Okay, but when we come to terminology, SharePoint terminology is completely different. Okay. Okay, we'll tell what term represents what in SharePoint.
Okay.
So, do you have any programming knowledge like?
I learned C and Java, but I mean, very long time back. I need to
Okay.
brush up those topics. And in my
At
master's
least,
also we used very little, but I'm not so familiar with them. Not at
okay.
all. Just know the concepts. That's it.
Okay.
And I don't know how to implement them, like using programming or something like that.
Okay. Fine. So, at least having any idea on what is class, object,
Yeah.
yeah,
No
that is
worries.
object-oriented programming, something like class,
Yeah.
object, how to define, yeah. So, I will just show some SharePoint environment, how it looks like. So, like if you want to go as a SharePoint developer, like it is good to have good skills on C#.NET and ASP.NET.
Okay.
Okay, not excellent, like we can have a average performance in that, but SharePoint developers should have the C# and ASP.NET. So here, if you see, if you are like SharePoint provides some inbuilt features are called out of the box features. OOB means the features which are available inside SharePoint directly. Means as a user or as a power user, I can just use the out of the box features without writing any code. But SharePoint supports some custom things also. So customizations also I can do this to the SharePoint. So when you are doing out of the box features, so you do not need to write a single line of code. But when you are doing customizations, again, as it is a web application, you will be using ASP.NET along with C#.NET language. So when you are doing customizations, again you require the skills on ASP.NET and C#. Is it disconnected?
Oh, you meant the website?
No, I could have, yeah. Now I got it. So the prerequisites for SharePoint is, as we discussed, like .NET is prerequisite, right? So before installing SharePoint, you should have .NET installed on your machine. Okay? So you need .NET. So do you have any idea on database?
SQL?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just know little.
Yeah. What is the purpose of database? Like we store the database. We store the data into database.
Yeah.
So even though for us front end is SharePoint, still if I upload any document, if I upload any employee information, where that will be saved? That will be saved into obviously finally database. So the database for SharePoint is SQL Server. because SharePoint is a Microsoft product and SQL Server is a Microsoft product. So they are taking SQL Server as a database. So before installing SharePoint, you should have this Rocket environment is ready and SQL Server is ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
So once you have this, and Windows environment is mandatory. Okay. So if you want to install SharePoint 2013 Windows, so you cannot install SharePoint on client operating systems like Windows XP, Windows 7. You cannot install. So the Windows Server operating system is required.
Okay,
And
so
it should be 64-bit operating system. Okay, 64-bit and Windows Server operating system is required.
mm-hmm.
Okay, once you have this environment ready, okay, you can go ahead and install SharePoint. So after installing SharePoint, so let's say I'm saying SharePoint provides the features. Everything is like we need to click somewhere, something like that I told, right? So if I want to do something, I need a website, right?
Yeah.
So SharePoint provides a default website called Central Administration, where you manage everything.
Okay.
Okay. So if you go here, you can see. So currently I have 2010 version of SharePoint. So you just click on SharePoint 2010 Central Administration.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the website which will launch automatically when you install the SharePoint.
Mm-hmm.
So using this Central Administration, now I can create my SharePoint websites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can create hundreds of websites. Okay, and I can give the access to the users now.
Okay.
So basically in SharePoint there are different roles actually. A SharePoint developer, a SharePoint administrator, SharePoint user and SharePoint designer. So the person who is having access to the central admin, they will be called as SharePoint administrator because they will do all the administration related settings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the person who uses my website is called as SharePoint user. So in a normal case, if you are using ASP.NET website, means they are just users. But in the case of SharePoint, they are power users because even the user can create a subsite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, user can create a subsite, user can create a list, create a document, everything user can do. User can create a list, set the permission, everything they can do. SharePoint users are power users. Okay, and the third thing is designer. So where I can customize this master page and all. So using designer, we will do a lot of things.
Okay.
And the fourth one is SharePoint developer.
Mm-hmm.
So the one who like create the custom solutions, out of the box solutions. Okay, those are called developers.
Okay.
Okay, this is the SharePoint Central Administration site where you can create web applications and all.
Mm-hmm.
One second. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back
Hello.
actually. Yeah, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to SharePoint terminology, we can directly go ahead with SharePoint, right? So Do you think C# and ASP.NET required for you?
Yeah, because I have no knowledge of it.
Okay. So we can cover that also. So I said like C#, .NET, these are all the different flavors of .NET, right? I said.
Yeah.
So if you want to develop any kind of application which is supported by .NET, so you need one tool, right? You need a tool where I can develop my applications.
Yeah.
So if you take a Java, what is the tool to develop Java applications? Okay, Eclipse or something.
Eclipse, yeah.
Yeah. So Eclipse is nothing but it is like a IDE for you. Integrated development environment. That is the environment. So Microsoft also given a powerful tool called Visual Studio, which is the IDE for
ASP.NET.
any of the languages, any of the flavors of .NET. Whether it might be a C# .NET application, whether it is a Windows application, web service, Windows service, ASP.NET, MVC, Silverlight, WPF, or SharePoint. Anything you can develop with the help of this IDE.
Okay.
So, as a graphical representation, you can see this Visual Studio. Okay. The current version of Visual Studio is 2013. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is the one. If you see Eclipse, it will be little bit different than Eclipse. Okay. If I want to create a new project, okay, so you just need to go to the file, new project. So first thing is you need to install Visual Studio. Okay. If you install Visual Studio, all the .NET related basic settings will come.
Okay.
Means if you install Visual Studio, you can directly develop C# .NET, ASP.NET application till it comes.
Okay.
Okay. Again, if you want to develop a SharePoint, you need to install SharePoint.
Okay.
MVC means we need to add something to the Visual Studio. If you install MVC framework, some icons will be added to the Visual Studio like that. Okay. So if I go and add a new project, if you see, just click on File, New Project.
Should we download this in Windows Server or you can download it in the normal PC? Like, I don't have a Windows Server, so I have to install
Visual Studio is fine. Visual Studio.
Yeah?
Hello? Someone talking?
No.
Yeah, Visual Studio, like you can install on a client operating systems. Any of the now I have Windows 7, so I have Visual Studio. So you have a free version also, Visual Studio Community 2013. You can type. So Visual Studio Community is a free version.
No, I meant like I have Windows 8. I'm going to install a virtual machine, and in that I'll put Windows Server. So I need to put the Visual Studio in Windows Server or my normal Windows 8.
Yeah, Windows 8 is not sufficient for SharePoint because Windows 8 is a client operating system.
Yeah. So for SharePoint, I have to put in Windows Server.
You need to go with server operating system. So you need to install the server operating system or create a virtual machine and install there.
Yeah.
That also works. Okay, create like both operating systems side by side, and you can, if you have a good configuration, okay, then you can manage.
Okay.
Okay, so coming to the Visual Studio, if you come here, so you can see different options here. So how there are many languages. If you see, this is Visual C#. Okay, if you see other languages, you can see the Visual Basic. Okay, VB, Visual C++, Visual F#. There are some other languages also. Okay, I am not interested in any of those things. I am interested in Visual C#. If you go to the Visual C#, okay, here you can see the different Windows desktop means these applications are targeted to one desktop.
Okay.
These are desktop applications. Okay, Windows Forms application, which is a graphical user interface. Okay, where you can see the text box and all. Console application, it is a character user interface. Different flavors.
Okay.
Okay, and when you expand the web, you can see the web application. ASP.NET web application you can develop.
Okay.
Okay, when you click on WCF, you can develop a WCF application. WCF is a service architecture. Using WCF, you can develop a web services. Okay, you can develop a Silverlight application. Okay, under Windows desktop, you can see a WPF application also, different application. But what we are interested in? We are interested in SharePoint applications. So just click on SharePoint, you can develop your custom applications using Visual Studio. But if my requirement is just storing the data, do I need to use Visual Studio? Not required. Okay?
Yeah.
If you want to extensively customize your SharePoint, then only go ahead with customization. If the requirement can be achieved with out-of-the-box features, go with out-of-the-box features. If the requirements can't be achieved, then only go with custom solution. So custom solution means everything is possible. Whatever is available in .NET, you can develop everything with custom solution. With SharePoint access.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the IDE for .NET. So if you want to go with C#, so I have some material actually. So you want to go through, you can go through.
Yeah, sure. If you can send me that, I'll go through it.
Yeah, like it's just like the introduction of .NET framework and what is C# and what. So we did not discuss much about .NET, right? So
Yeah.
in the .NET, like how the .NET application works means, yeah, if you see,
I'll go through the material.
yeah, you can go through this. Just ping your mail ID. I'll send all this material to you. You can go through.
Do you have my mail ID by any chance? Like,
you can just chat right here. You can just ping to me.
I don't see an option.
Okay. So tell your mail ID. I'll forward so that you can just go through the these documents. So we'll discuss like the initial few days for .NET. Then we'll go ahead with SharePoint.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Look. Can you tell your mail ID?
It's VI
It's
SHVA.
Am I correct?
Yeah. VA PRA
Pardon?
P PP
Okay.
RA TTI.
Am I correct?
Yeah. PATI.
PATI.
Yeah. @gmail.com.
Okay, fine. I'll send these documents to you. You can just go through this. And what time is convenient for you?
Morning is better. Like, I prefer 10:30, but it'll be too late for you maybe. 10 will
Morning
be
my
fine.
time 10:30.
No, my time 10.
Okay, you are in which time zone currently?
PST.
PST. Okay. So your evening time, right? You are saying 10:30.
No, for me morning 10 will be fine, I'm saying.
Morning 10 o'clock means it will be night time, right?
Night 10:30 for you.
Night 10:30 for me.
Yeah,
Okay. We'll see and we'll adjust. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So how do we go about this training then? Like .NET first, or shall I directly jump into SharePoint or what?
We'll learn .NET a little and then I'll jump to SharePoint.
Okay, sir.
And meanwhile, I'll keep referring to the material which you sent so that we can
Yeah,
go a little
if you
faster.
are little bit faster, ma'am, like we can, I can go ahead little bit faster.
Okay, so usually how long will it take?
If you take only the SharePoint, like it will take 30 days actually. Only
Okay.
SharePoint. If you have some .NET skills, then I go a little bit like if you have some .NET skills now, like the way we teach is little bit different, right? In SharePoint, it will be little bit faster. If you don't have the .NET skills, probably it is better to go like it will take at least 20 classes per .NET.
Okay.
Because .NET is not a small thing. It will take at least 20 classes, I think. Like 10 days for C# and 10 days for ASP.NET we need to consider.
Okay.
That is at least.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll forward the material to you. Please go through that.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, we can connect tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll adjust the timings accordingly. Daily 1 hour or 1.5 hour will sit from tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. And
Okay.
can you tell me your email ID?
Yeah, I'll send from my email ID, right? This
Yeah.
documents.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Bye.